Why does a recession occur? High interest rates are a cause of recession because they limit liquidity or the amount of money available to invest. Another cause is increased inflation. Inflation refers to a general rise in the prices of goods and services over a period of time. The biggest factor contributed to recession is inflation. A high inflation rate limits the goods and services that the same amount of money can buy. Inflation can increase energy costs, increase production costs, and increase national debt. During this time, people cut their spending, which causes the GDP to decline. What exactly is a recession? A period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP in two successful quarters.
Well, a recession to me is when businesses aren't doing good, when people aren't making money, when businesses aren't making money, and basically money is not flowing around. To me, is a recession is when people are declining, things aren't going good, the economy just isn't in a great place. So yeah, that's what a recession is to me.
You're broke. Can't eat. Can't sleep. Can't survive.
A recession is the declining of economic affairs. So when the economy crashes and people slowly lose their jobs, their homes, their livelihoods, and so on and so forth. A recession is also when unemployment goes up. So the unemployment rate goes up, the jobs are no more. That is what a recession is.
What is the difference between recession and depression? A recession is characterized as a period of negative economic growth for two consecutive quarters. In a recession, unemployment will rise, output fall, and government borrowing will increase, although a depression is a recession much more severe and long lasting. A period when the economy is experiencing high unemployment, slow productivity, and increased goods and services, stagflation is occurring. Stagflation is a decline in real GDP combined with the rise in the price level.
Stagflation occurs during a period of contraction. Contraction is a period of economic decline marked by falling real GDP. This is only phase 3 of the business cycle. A business cycle is a period of macroeconomic expansion followed by a period of contraction. Phase 1 of the business cycle is an expansion. An expansion is a period of economic growth as measured by a rise in real GDP. In other words, the economic growth during this stage is constant and GDP is increasing. During this phase, the economy will enjoy business prosperity. The second phase of this business cycle is the peak. The peak is the height of an economic expansion which occurs when real GDP stops rising. The third phase, as stated earlier, is the contraction, which is just marked by falling real GDP. And the last stage of the business cycle is the trough. The trough is the stage where the economy is considered bottomed out or down the drain. This is the lowest point in economic contraction when real GDP stops falling. During a contraction phase, GDP is always falling, but in each phase, price levels and unemployment are different. This is how economists relate the business cycle to recession. Recession in this case is basically a level of
Expansionary
severity.
policy is a microeconomic policy that seeks to expand the money supply to encourage economic growth or combat inflationary price increases. You can avoid a recession by cutting interest rates, which will increase aggregate demand and convince consumers and businesses to spend rather than save and cut taxes. Cutting those taxes would increase consumer spending, which would cause the government borrowing or government spending to increase.